All right, everybody. See you guys later. Here's what I've learned. People really just need community and a plan. Like, have you ever felt stuck? Like, you just really need to make some progress, any type of progress. I understand, and that's exactly why I started the Momentum Academy. We made a space where you can make practical progress literally every single day. It's so important that you make this progress because it helps you get clarity, and then you find real connection with community. And so I'm grateful to be able to extend this to you and give you an opportunity to join the Momentum Academy, a place where you're gonna get live workshops, you're gonna get Zoom calls, you're gonna get prompts, worksheets, frameworks, you're gonna get all this stuff, even prayer. And you get to be surrounded around a supportive community that I'm so grateful to host and to lead. And so if you want this, I will make sure that you get access to it. So go ahead and just follow the instructions on the screen. I will see you soon. I can't wait to have you in the Momentum Academy. I'll see you soon. I got you. Whenever you make a decision that you're not proud of,
out of like fear or anxiety.
Fear and anxiety, right. What I've learned is this. Just be human. And what I mean by that is allow people to see you vulnerable. Allow people to see you be transparent. And allow people to experience your honesty. So you can say, hey, I made a mistake. I made the wrong choice. Or I made a bad decision. People don't need people to be perfect. People just want people to be honest. My pastor always says, when you are wrong, you don't keep doing wrong. Make things right. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's the, when you're in life making decisions that you're not proud of, you're like, dang, I made the wrong decision. Or dang, I made this decision emotionally. You always have another chance to make things right. You want to make sure that your decisions aren't hurting people, but even if you do, apologize. If your apology doesn't turn to reconciliation, just which simply means we came back together, at least you know you did your part. You never want to leave without saying, I apologize. You never want to keep going in life where everyone is the problem but you. You don't want to keep making decisions that affect so many people and you never really take accountability for how you made emotional decisions. People I'm in relationships with, when I see them getting angry or mad, I say, hey, just watch what you say. Because you're angry right now. You're going to say something you don't mean. Yeah. We've all done that, bro. We've all said something we didn't mean. We all did something maybe not intentionally, but it hurt people. And so, again, when you're in that time, you just, once you get sober, so to speak, you get in your right mind, be human and tell people, hey, I messed up and I apologize. I made that decision when I was emotional and I'm working on myself so I can be better. See, that's real. Which I'll say this, I don't want to do this because it deserves a full video, but dating in this generation, right? It's very challenging. I wrote here, you marry people's character, their core values, their priorities, their patterns, their self-sabotage, and you got to gather all that data before you marry them. Because that's who they are. You're not marrying somebody for their looks. The Bible says charm is deceptive and beauty fades. So that means the physical attraction of a person will eventually go away. They're going to get older. Their body's going to change. Their face is going to change. Seasons changes, people changes, but the character of a person, the core values of a person, they can change for the better. But somebody who has, after you get to a certain age, for the most part, who they are is who they are. Yeah. And if you can gather that data, like one of the most practical things I would tell somebody going on a date, ask them what are their core values. Ask them how would they describe their character. Ask them what is priority to you right now in your life. What are your priorities? Ask them, hey, what are some areas of self-sabotage in your life that you've noticed? You'll say, wow, this is so deep on the first date. But you have to gather the data. Most people go on romantic dates and they fall in love and they develop bonds over how things feel. And it's dangerous because when you fall in love with how things feel, you're blinded to who you're actually sitting in front of or in a relationship with. So it's like, now that we have this connection, it's harder to let go when I see the real you and I realize this is not a good fit. It's dangerous. And so in this time, how can someone practically date? ask really important questions up front in the beginning. Don't let there be so much romance that you're just so in love with how it feels. Because if you think about some of your greatest memories, bro, with somebody that you're no longer in a relationship with, you're in love with how it felt. And if you guys had to separate because of something really necessary, you realize you don't want the person. You want how the person made you feel. And so if you can be with somebody who aligns with your core values, you appreciate and love their character, who they are, you feel like you can deal with some of their patterns or self-sabotage, because you're going to have to deal with something. No one's perfect. If you feel like you have the grace to handle that and not nag them to death because you fell in love with them after that, not real rap. It's so important. Then the romance and the fun stuff is more like almost like an investment. You get to enjoy now the fruits of the seeds you planted in the beginning by asking real questions. And once you see this is a place where you can invest, then you can enjoy all the beauty that comes after. It's really important because people are struggling now. I didn't realize it until now. Like, people are really struggling with dating in this time. If you found somebody, you're like, yo, real rap, because we're in a time, bro, like people are having a hard time really developing real relationships. And so if you want to get to know somebody early, figure out what their core values are, what their priorities are, what's their character like, you know what I'm saying? What areas of self-sabotage do they have? That's so real. You gotta know where you struggle, not just where you're strong, because that's who they are. And you know what's hard? Ask people, how do you navigate through mourning loss? How do you cope when you're discouraged, when you're disappointed, when you're mourning loss, when you're grieving? That's one side of people that people I'm noticing never get to see, even while you're dating. You got to check in on people who've lost jobs. Check on people who've lost relationships. Check on people who are in transition. Check on people who are making big moves. You got to check on them. Especially the ones that are strong friends, because no one thinks to check on them. But when you check on them, when you get to watch how people mourn, you gotta say, like, can I live with this? People can change for the better, but how someone mourns is very real. Not everybody's good with that, because mourning isn't as frequent as all the other emotions. But when that season comes, you're like, wow, like it draws up a whole nother side of you. It's very real. But anyway,